Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the OmegaSonicMan channel. Now here today, you guys, we are going to talk about my top 10 dream DLC characters that I personally always wanted to be in the Tekken game. So here's all my top 10 and we're going to get started, you guys. So my number one pick is Armor King, obviously from, Tekken. I love Armor King. I love the lore and the history behind Armor King. I always thought he was one of the coolest Tekken characters ever. I just think he's cool and a cool parallel between him and King. And it's just cool to always see Armor King have some love in Tekken. So I would love to see Armor King make a return. All right, my number 2 Dream DLC character is True Devil Kazuya. So basically Devil Kazuya, but in his true form. Like from the ending boss of Tekken 7, when you fight the boss version of Kazuya. Or if you ever watched the Tekken movie, it was like, it came with the Tekken Tag 1 remaster on the PS3. But anyways, that version of Kazuya. Just because it'd be full power Kazuya, boss character Kazuya, that Jin has to overcome. Since Jin is kind of like the Ryu of the verse, even though he's kind of evil, you could argue that. But anyways, I'm a Kazuya fanboy. So I have to have Kazuya, True Devil Kazuya, in there as a playable character for once, and that would be awesome. Okay, my number 3, you guys, is Violet from, Tekken 4. Technically, that's when he first appeared, and Violet is also known as Lee. Violet is this secret disguise costume, and I would think Tekken 8 would be a perfect place to make that return, because now that Heihachi is dead for real this time, Kazuya's in charge. So maybe that'd be cool for Violet to come back. Maybe he's dressing up as Violet to, infiltrate the Mishima Zaibatsu or something. I just think Violet was always a cool character, and as a kid, when I played Tekken 4 when I was younger, I thought Violet was awesome because he wore sunglasses. Back in the early 2000s, any character with sunglasses to me was cool. But anyways, I would just love to see Violet back. I always thought he was a cool character, and I think Lee's cool too. So yeah. All right, my number 4. Now my number 4 is not a character I would ever use, but I just think we need joke characters in Tekken. We just need at least a couple, maybe 1 or 2. And let's give the Bears and the Pandas a break, and let's bring Roger Jr. back. Now, I know why they are kind of on the fence of bringing Roger Jr. because they was scared of the backlash they might get. But I'm on the fence of you guys put the Pandas in and you guys put the Bears in, so to me, it shouldn't matter. But that's just my personal opinion, and I just think it will be cool to have Roger Jr. back, kicking butt, and yeah, I think it would be cool. And maybe as a Switch costume might bring back Alex. I think that would be cool too. All right, my number 5 character is another character that I don't use, but I've always been a fan of, is Bruce. I think Bruce has to come back, you guys. Come on. Bruce is cool, sick, he does kickboxing, and I always love seeing kickboxer in a fighting game. And I always love seeing a cool black representation of a character, because obviously I'm African American. And I just think it would be cool to have a cool character like that on there. So yeah. So, alright guys, the next 5 are more on the Dream side of things. They're more on the Dream DLC side of things. So these are characters that probably are not going to make it, but I wish that they would. Alright, so you guys, my number 6 is actually Nightmare from Soul Calibur. I always wanted a Soul Calibur character in Tekken. I know you guys can argue Yoshimitsu because he is technically a Soul Calibur character that is in Tekken, but I always wanted a different type of Soul Calibur character in Tekken, and I think Nightmare would fit that mold, man. Nightmare is just a cool character. He has this giant sword, and he's just sick. He could be like the Akuma in that game. I just think Nightmare has to have an appearance in Tekken, some shape or form. And I just always dream of just him in there clashing with a Kazuya. I just think that would be cool. All right, my number 7 is kind of a no-brainer. It's Akira from Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter is the godfather of 3D fighter games, and I love Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighter Megamix. And Akira just has to come, man. Just has to come in there, man. And if not him, at least somebody from Virtua Fighter personally. But I think Akira, since he's the main good guy on that one, the main protagonist, I think he has to. So I think Akira would be cool to make it. My number 8 might come as a surprise, but if you know me personally, it won't be a surprise. But it's Ryo from Shenmue. Shenmue is one of my favorite games ever. I love Shenmue so much. The first two, it's my favorite. The third one, is okay. But the first two, I love the first two so much. Like, I really don't know which one I like better. Sometimes I like the first one better. Sometimes I like Shenmue 2 better. But Ryo is such a cool character. I always thought he was awesome. And if you ever played the first two, in a way, he's kind of fight like a Virtua Fighter character. Like, his fighting style is based off Virtua Fighter characters. And I just think Ryo would be cool to bring back, you know, and just bring him in a Namco like fighting game would be awesome. And if you guys don't know, I am a Sega fanboy, so that's the reason why I love Ryo as well. And this might not come as a surprise then, because number 9, it is a character from an old fighting game franchise. Some of you may know, some of you may not. It's Fighting Viper, and it is Bond. Bond has to come. And, you know, like I said earlier, I love Fighter Mega Man. So when I was growing up, I always thought the Fighting Viper characters was dope. So Bond would be such a cool character to put in, to see his armor and stuff come off and see some battle damage in it with modern day graphics would be amazing to see. So I think Bond would be an awesome character. Just to see him in modern day graphics will blow my mind. He'll probably look more like Jotaro from JoJo, but I would still love to see him in there. All right, my number 10 character is a super unlikely, probably would not ever come. Most of these dream characters won't, but it's my favorite Mortal Kombat character, at least one of them. It's my favorite ninja, which is Sub-Zero. I would love to see Sub-Zero in there, man. He's just my favorite ninja character from Mortal Kombat. I just love to see him in there. I mean, I would love to see how they would work around him not doing like fatalities, but in my personal opinion, you could do like fatal blows and X-ray moves to be his like specials and stuff. So I feel like that could be his rage art. They could just figure out something with the new heat engine they have got going on, and when they do that, could be his fatal blows or X-rays. You know, I think that would be cool, man. That's all the top 10 characters OmegaSonicMan would love to see in Tekken 8. And I appreciate you guys for sticking with it. If you guys have stick with it, and you know, just leave a comment. What are your guys' top 10 characters you would like to see in Tekken 8?